Let's go. Welcome to Smooth Talk Sessions. Kick back, learn cornhole lessons. From the backyards to big time blessings. Jay Smooth got the boards, got the questions. Smooth Talk Sessions. Hometown champs and the ones still stressing. Back in the air, that's the confession. Talking all things cornhole, that's the essence. We got locals, league kings, new rookies in the mix.
What's up, everybody? This is Jay Smooth with another episode of Cornhole with Smooth Talk Sessions. And today we have a very special guest in the building, coming straight out of Cali, showing us some of that California love, Dr. Michelle Thompson. Some of y'all might know her as Cornhole Niece. Welcome to the podcast, Michelle.
Welcome in. That intro's fire. I was grooving.
You was grooving too. I was the California lover. Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
How you doing?
I'm doing so good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you again for, coming back on the podcast. This time it's on a Smooth Talk Sessions version, but I appreciate you always. You are one of the people I look up to in the commentating and the podcast media world, so much love to you and Wally, oh yeah, most definitely. So if people don't know who you are, can you give a little brief introduction of who you are?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a commentator and personality for the American Cornhole League. So you can hear me on the live streams. I used to do some sideline reporting for ESPN, ESPN2, and CBS Sports for the ACL. And then I do their Around the ACL podcast and then some other stuff behind the scenes, but that's more of my forward-facing stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've been keeping up with you for the last 2 years at the least, and you've been doing a lot of great work out there, a lot of great work. So continue doing what you're doing. And that's what I always say, strive for greatness. So that's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna get right to it. So let's talk about this. You got some things going on right here. So you can start wherever you want to start, but you can, go ahead and dig into it.
Yeah, so basically, I was having one of my, deep late night conversations with ChatGPT, as I often do, and I was like, man, I just feel like I have the blessing of time right now. Like the travel season isn't too strenuous on me. My weekly day-to-day stuff is not super full now that I'm done with the PhD program. And so I'm just like, what do I want to do with my time? Like if I could wave a magic wand, and like, how would I want to spend most of my time? And I just love doing shows. And my dream is to have a reality show and maybe even a reality network someday.
Nice.
And so I just kind of want to dip my toes into as much, shows and podcasts and in front of the camera mic work as I possibly can. So I was like, well, what do I want to do? So the first one now in rotation is because I absolutely love music. I am known for creating playlists and discovering artists and introducing people to music they haven't heard before. And so Now in Rotation just does that. So me and my sister-in-law sit down and I play some songs for her and we talk about them. And then she brings a song to the playlist. Usually it's country because I'm not a country music person. So it kind of brings that balance. And then we do a listener suggestion and we just have fun. And it's a way to debut a lot of the artists because I listen to a lot of underground music and sort of emerging underground, and I can expose people to that. And then the show that piggybacks off of that is pretty much the human behind it, which is where I get to sit down and really dig into people who are in the public eye and who they really are. So I'm focusing a lot on artists right now because I'm just connecting with them, but it could be anybody in the public. I just had a radio DJ on just this past episode. So anybody out there. And then In Your Element is Wally and I's fun show where we talk about people who are in their element and then helping people get in their element. So when you're just doing what you absolutely love and you shine and time flies by. And for a lot of people, that's cornhole. And it could be other things as well. And then, of course, Around the ACL. And then my super fun project From Couch to Cornhole, I actually just met with Corey, who's our producer at the ACL for the live streams on Friday. And we started putting together the 4 episodes. Those are going to be so much fun watching our contestant Corey, since we have literally 3 Corys on this show. We have Corey the producer, we have Corey the contestant, and then we have Corey Gilbert, the ACL pro, used to be. And so we took contestant Corey literally from not ever playing cornhole to playing in a cornhole tournament in just under 30 days. And it was a really cool journey to document.
That's awesome. So you got to call him Triple C.
Yeah, I know, it was so confusing. I'm like, "Corey, Corey, Corey, Corey." It's just constant.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Michael Gonzalez, Mr. Director, he is, said, hey, he's in the comments saying hi.
Hey,
So
what's up, Michael?
what's going on, Michael? Good to see you soon. Also, see you soon. Also, so let's get right to the next one. What was what was this feeling like? Because I mean, ESPN commentating, it's like you're one of several media people that's in this game now dream, right? To get there and to do what you did right here. So what was that feeling like?
Yeah, this is actually sideline reporting. So this is the live television in front of the camera work, and it was a fun challenge for me because I have experience with live television. I've done news segments and things like that
Mhm.
where there's no messing up, there's no roll back the tape. It's live on TV. But the sideline reporting was even extra challenging because there wasn't really a way to prepare. The game's going to
Yeah.
end how it's going to end. I don't know who I'm going to be interviewing. I don't know how. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a game-winning shot, if it's going to be close, if it's going to be a blowout. So it was a constant challenge to think, okay, what I have to be ready for 17 different scenarios
Right.
in the snap of a fingers. And so this picture is probably right before I was about to go live. I was probably listening to the countdown in my ear and getting excited to get the cameras rolling.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And before we go to the next one, I wanted to say this. Get well soon to Rome. That's your son, right?
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was it a sports injury or was it? It
No,
wasn't.
shockingly.
Okay.
He
Oh,
he fell out of a tree and broke both bones in his wrist on Saturday.
wow.
And it's like one of those moments where he's got a high pain tolerance, so he's like, he didn't say anything. He came in the house, we were at a friend's house, he didn't say anything, and then maybe like 20 minutes later he came down, he's like, Mom, my wrist really hurts.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, oh, okay, well, let's just ice it. Like, it looks a little
Hmm.
swollen. And then he's like, okay. And then he goes back. And then, speaking of Chat GPT, he comes down with his laptop. He's crying. He's like, Chat GPT says it's broken. I was like, well, hold on. We don't Google things like this. Like, you got, like, there's no, I'm like, I'm thinking if he broke bone, he's got to be like screaming, right? Like, there's
Right,
no way
right,
he's just like chilling. I mean, he was crying, but he wasn't like crying. He was just kind of
right.
weepy. And so we gave him some, children's Tylenol, and we put an ice pack on it. We told him just relax, and so he sat with me and didn't say anything. And then we went
Mhm.
home. We all watched a movie together, or he's laughing, whatever. The next day, he wakes up at like 5 in the morning, and he's like crying, and he's like, "Mom, it hurts so
Mm.
bad, and it was big." And I was like, "And we're going to urgent care."
Yeah, yeah.
But
Wow.
but I will say, even though it wasn't a sports injury, everybody asked if he did it in jujitsu because he does jujitsu,
Mm.
5 days a week. But I will say that he told me the first thing he told me was, "Mom, jujitsu is the reason why I'm safe because when he fell out of the tree, it was on concrete. But he said he did a back fall, which is when you keep your chin tucked and you put your hands back first.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
that's what they teach in jujitsu when you fall to the ground. And so I think it was a big reason why he was safe in that fall.
Yeah, those classes work, right? He
Yeah.
learned those lessons and he used it to, his advantage. That's awesome because how old is he again?
He'll be 11 next month.
Okay, I broke my ankle at 11. I wasn't acting like him.
He's my the first question because he starts soccer tonight. So he's like,
Oh, is he going?
I mean, we're gonna go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think once he gets, we're going to the actual orthopedic doctor tomorrow and hopefully get his
Mhm.
cast. And he's still in quite a bit of pain right now. But I think once he has the
Yeah.
cast and the pain comes down, he can do footwork and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Well, shouts out to Ron. Shouts out to Ron. Get well soon.
yeah.
Get
Thank
well
you.
soon. No, no problem. No problem. Let's move along to the next one. Kind of, jump onto this. It's something that you newly have going on. I think it's new, but you can speak more to it.
Yeah, it definitely new
Yeah.
as my book comes out next month. I've been writing it, since last year. Let's see, I graduated in the fall of 2025, and I immediately turned around and took the findings from my dissertation. And if you've ever written a dissertation before, you have to do a 35-page, 100-source literature review. And
Mm.
so I wanted to utilize a lot of that in not just in the scholarly information, like who's going to read my 100-page dissertation. Like, I don't
Wow.
think I don't think anybody wants to read that. Um, but but the stuff that I found when I was doing my literature review on the importance of connection and the dangers of isolation and loneliness, and and how much connection matters, not just a nice to have, but like absolutely is. There's so much research that shows that it's as important as exercise, and it has this the same, if not more, beneficial effects as if you were to quit smoking or lose weight. So just I'm really passionate about understanding connection and helping people use connection instead of the sort of typical things. Like if you wanted to, lose weight or make more money, get a new job, you can do kind of the things most people do, or you could focus on connection and see where that takes you. So I like that idea. So it's a combination of my research and then my story of how cornhole saved, so much of my connection in my life and happiness and fulfillment after we lost our house in the fire in
Yeah.
2018. So it kind of weaves my story through the literature review, through the dissertation results.
Nice, nice. Now, is it already out on Amazon or
Not
anywhere yet,
yet.
or
Yeah,
not
so
yet?
just
Okay.
just pre-orders are out right now. You can go to my website and click books, and you'll see the pre-order link there. My publisher has it up on her website, and then it will officially drop in April.
In April? Okay. Awesome, awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you kind of spoke to the house fire. I did. I was doing my research. I was going to ask you about that anyway. So can you kind of like, you know, you overcame that, and that was 2018. I know that was a hard time for you, but what were some of the things that you did to overcome? I know maybe it was writing and things like that, maybe, or was it music? Because I know you're a big music fan also, like me. So what were
Yeah.
some things that did to cope? Because I mean, that all those type of things kind of go into place with playing any sports, right? How
Yep.
how you use your mental and how recover from certain things, losses, or whatever the case may be. So what are some of the things that you did?
Yeah, nothing at first.
Mhm.
Just absolute survival. So there was no coping in the beginning. I mean, we really were in a situation where, and this is, I tell people, you have to use survival when you need it. You just need to know how to get out of it.
Mhm.
And we were living, myself, my husband, my son, our two pit bulls. We were all living on a mattress on the floor of someone's very small house.
Mhm.
And we didn't have a place to live, and we didn't have any money because we were renters with no insurance. So when we lost
Mhm.
everything, we lost literally everything. And then I so it was one of those situations where I had to figure out really quickly, what are we going to do? Like, where are we going to live? How are we have to buy a house. We have two pit bulls, so no one's going to rent to us. We're both self-employed. And
Mhm.
also everybody that just lost their house has renters, or has money from their insurance companies to rent. So it's like, who's going to rent to the people with no money,
Wow.
self-employed with two pit bulls? So
Right.
I was like, we have to buy a house, and we have to buy a house right now before everybody gets their insurance money to buy, because everybody's waiting on that check, and we don't have a check coming. So that was like
Wow.
initial. It was just like pure survival. Um,
Mhm.
just I have to make stuff happen, and we did. We put an offer on a house 3 days after the fire, and we just got in before it went way up. Like if we had waited five
Wow.
days, we would have been paying 100,000 over asking, because
Yeah.
that's how crazy it got, and we wouldn't have been able to do it. So we had to come up with $50,000 in 30 days, and
Sheesh.
yeah, it was
Wow.
nuts. So and then it was even after that, even like we got in the house, we lived in this house, the one we're in right now. We couldn't
Mhm.
afford anything. It was just a house with no furniture in it. We had a
Yeah.
mattress on the floor for Rome and a mattress on the floor for us because our bed company replaced it for us for free, and
Wow.
which was so nice. And that's literally all we had. There's nothing else in the house.
Yeah.
Um, and we lived like that for a while. And so I just never had time to even cope or grieve or anything.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until literally a year later, it was like right during the kind of the middle of COVID, where I kind of had, or right before COVID, I guess, where I had a complete breakdown, like just
Yeah.
a mental breakdown. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was just at my wit's end, and like, I need to like stop grinding. I need to stop with my
Yeah.
business. I need to stop with school. I need to just like stop everything and just breathe for a second.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
did. And then, so if you think about that, that was, 2019. And then obviously COVID happened. So everybody was in disarray.
Right. Yeah.
But right after that is when all this cornhole stuff happened. So it wasn't until I had like to let go of everything that all of the new stuff showed up. And if you talk about what I did to cope, I literally just stopped, just like a
Mm.
complete pause in life and
Yeah.
just sat in it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You said you didn't have anything in the house, but you had love. So I think that's the biggest thing that you needed, and that's a blessing that you guys, came, was no nobody was hurt or anything like that. You was able to find a new home and look at you now. So
And
I look at that.
humility, like
Yeah, almost definitely.
I'll
Yeah.
never forget what it was like when I look around. We still have some of the because once I got some money from some of the places that were donating money to fire victims, I went to the thrift shop and I furnished our house and for like
Hmm.
$600. And I still
Right.
have some of that furniture. I'm like,
Right.
it works. Like, why not?
That's-
And I look at it and I think, hey, there was a moment when I had nothing. Like this was incredible
Exactly.
to have this.
Exactly. You cherish what you have. You
Yeah,
cherish what you have, and some people don't have that. So you look at it that way, but that's
yeah,
much blessings to you and your family.
appreciate
Most
it.
definitely, most definitely. So let's go to this because I had questions because I played it before. I know a lot of people may not know about it, but you do fantasy cornhole, and you have people sign up and play and things like that. I think it's amazing. Can you kind of speak on that a little bit?
I just love doing fun things like this, but
Mhm.
it's a little more challenging. I play fantasy football, so
Yeah, same
I
here.
love it. And it's not quite as easy for cornhole because for the most people, they don't even know who's attending the event.
That's true.
Um, I get a registration list a couple of days before because of around the ACL, and I'm in the back end of the system, but nobody else really gets to see that. And so I knew when I created it that I couldn't have people pick players because you just never know
Mhm.
who's going to what event. And that's why I went with bad companies in states because I figure if you kind of use odds, like it's juniors, probably going to be BG, like it's like you can kind of, and even if you picked, if you didn't know who was going to play in the regular like singles and doubles, if you're like, I know somebody with BG has a good chance of winning, then you could pick that and still feel good about your pick. And it's all free
Okay.
anyway. But I had one person on like my comments like, why don't you just like put the players? It's too confusing. I'm like, okay. Like, because you know all the players going to the events? I don't think so. You don't have registration lists, but so
Right.
I just did it that way. So you can pick a state that you think will be the winner. You can pick a bad company, and then you can pick the over under on the score, and you can pick the guess of what the score would be. And I have had someone get it right once or twice. So
Yeah,
that's just
I've seen those winners. I'm like, wow, yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
It's
Pretty
it's
cool.
pretty amazing, and then it's all free, and then, whoever wins each time, I just give 3 months to ACL Academy, which is our, program to help you get better at cornhole, so just a
Oh,
fun thing.
okay. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know you was doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, give a little bit rundown on that because I didn't know.
Yeah,
That's
ACL
pretty cool.
Academy, that's like my chance, like, I really love working with people on mental coaching and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of the one-on-one, private practice. That's why I did my degree in, general psych, not clinical psych, because I just knew I didn't want a life of back-to-back patients. And so when I think about how I like to work with people the most, I love working in groups. I love when a group of people come and we're all working on our own individual things, but also a lot of the
Mhm.
shared same issues and struggles. And so we can all come to this and as a community and connect. And then I can also give coaching and you could ask a question, Jay, that someone else would have never asked. And they're like, oh my goodness, that was so helpful. I never would have thought to ask
Mm.
that. And so ACL Academy is a combination of you get a group coaching call with me to bring all your game time situations and your mental hurdles. And then you also get a monthly session with one of our three pros. And that's going to be a practice session. So they're going to say, this month you're working on X and give you the actual practice routines for that month. And then we have a library of all of our past lectures from the last couple of years from sports psychologists and different pros and various professionals in the industry.
Okay. That's awesome. I had no idea. I had no idea. I knew about the ACL, the academy, but I didn't know you was actually giving out those. That was part of the prize, So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So more people, if you guys want to know about it, go check, Cornhole Mises page. She has a lot of information on there. She
Yeah,
has a lot
it's
of information. Yeah,
academyacl.com. You can find out. You can get a 7-day free trial to test it out, and then if you play fantasy cornhole, yeah, you can win 3 months.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And one of your biggest accomplishments we're going to talk about right now is this right here.
Yeah, that was a big
Yeah.
one.
That's a huge one. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. But we can speak to that. They see what it is. They got the universities at Capella
Yeah,
University.
Capella. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
my PhD. So I did my master's in human behavior, and then I did my PhD in psychology. I really liked human behavior. I'm mostly fascinated by studying humans and why they do what they do and or don't do what they want to do. That's like my favorite thing. And but unfortunately, the human behavior degree wasn't quite that. It was more in like the ABA type, like if you're going to work with kids with autism and things like that, and that's not my lane. So I switched to psychology, but it was
Mm.
I started. So I did my math. I think I started my master's right after Rome was born, and he's almost 11. So it was a long,
Oh,
long journey.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's a huge accomplishment. I love it for you. I love it for you. You love music a lot, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
know you
Yeah.
love a lot of music. Let me show you something real quick. I found on there.
Show
We're
me.
gonna we're gonna let it play out, then we're gonna talk about it, okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
I don't need no ice. I'll take 90. Mixing that up real nice. Thank you kindly.
It's YMTK. YMTK is not only like a favorite artist of mine, but I had the pleasure of interviewing him on The Human Behind It for the first episode.
Oh,
And I'm just like, it was so crazy because he's an underground artist, but to me, he's a giant. Like, and
okay.
he's in the family with E40 and Rex Life Raj and Pilo and like
Wow.
a lot of the people that I love. And he's right,
Right.
he does collabs with them all the time. So to me, he's like huge, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when he like answered me on Instagram, was like, yeah, I'd love to, and then came and did the and like I just fell in love with him even more. But oh my god, I can't say enough
That's
things about Murph. Yeah, he's so talented. He's dropping a new song next week, and I can't stop listening to just the little snippet he put on Instagram. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
just
That's
love him.
and you a West Coast girl, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you into the E40s and the Too Shorts and
Yes,
Cubes and Dre's and all. That's all some of my favorites too. You like Burna Boy too. I seen you like Burna Boy. That was
Afrobeats.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So if you pay attention to any of my actual reels or anything, I play all Cali music for you on all your
R.
reels.
Kelly.
Yeah. Well, no, Cali, all Cali,
Oh, I thought you
California
said R.
music.
Kelly. I'm like,
Oh
what?
no, no, no. Hell no.
That's like that's taboo now.
No, no,
I
Cali.
got you.
Cali love,
I
South
got you.
Spring, all
Yeah,
that for you.
yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I
So
know.
yeah, Afro beats and hip hop, they're pretty much the same. I
Yeah,
probably actually listen to more Afro beats than anything. And that's
yeah.
another guy. So I got to have on my human behind it, Lemmy Boy, who's out of Nigeria.
Mhm.
We interviewed him. Love his music. I think he's just getting started in terms of notoriety, but
Okay,
he's just as good as Burna Boy and Wizkid and Mr. Easy and all those guys.
okay.
So I highly recommend checking out Lemmy Boy, and he was so sweet. And
Well, Lemmy Boy.
Lemmy
Okay.
Boy,
Yeah,
yeah, check him
yeah,
out. Got
yeah,
great music.
yeah. Yeah, I love me some Afrobeat, so most definitely got to check them out. Yeah, I seen. I think I did see that you had posted that. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, right? That you had
Yeah,
posted it.
he was episode 2. I think we're on episode
Okay.
5. Um,
Okay.
but he's yeah, he's just amazing, and it's really cool to hear about the culture over there in Nigeria. Like he's like 25, I think, 24, 25, and he's a pharmacist
Wow.
and doing his music thing and all the love over there, and it's just fun to learn about a completely different lifestyle and culture, and
Yeah,
his
it
music's
is.
just really upbeat and fun. So
I love it. I love it. Music brings people together, just like cornhole.
that's
That's how I
exactly.
see it. You know.
And
Yep,
he
it
says
does. It
that, he
does.
talks about how he said, like, "Look, like, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now from California to Nigeria if it wasn't for music. Like, that's what it does. It brings people together."
That's amazing. That's really amazing. I love that for
Which,
you, though. Yeah.
by the way, is why I'm very sensitive to cornhole playlists. And when I go to cornhole events and the playlist doesn't hit, it's very disappointing to me.
Me and you both. Me
Like,
and
we
you
need to
both.
have a conversation about slow country music at cornhole events. Like, that's not the place. Okay. And it's not just because I don't like country. I'm just saying, why are we playing slow music? What are we
We
doing?
need
We
up
need
tempo
vibes.
music. That's why we need the vibes and up tempo. We on the same vibe. We on the
So if
same
you
vibe.
are struggling with your cornhole playlist, if you go to Spotify and look me up, I have a playlist that's good for the daytime, and I have a playlist that's good for day or night. Like, you
Hmm.
play those, okay? Let's just not do the slow country at cornhole events. Like the little PSA.
Check out Misha's playlist on Spotify. She would get you grooving. She most definitely
Right.
have you grooving. She have you grooving. But speaking of grooving, I got something else for you before we get out of here. I seen this today. at you.
I had to do the
Look
math
at
on
you.
that. I think I was like 25 or 26 there. I had to like
Really?
figure it out. I was like, wait, 15 years ago, how old was I?
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. Like I said, your love for music is amazing. Same here. I'm a big time music guy, so I totally get it. I gotta be grooving when I'm playing. It's the same thing when I was in high school or whatever, we come out to the certain songs and play, basketball games, halftime, you still listening what's going on out
We're
there.
missing that in
Yeah,
cornhole. We need
yeah.
the walkout songs.
Yeah, that'll be super cool. Something we can talk about. But yeah, that'd be super cool. I would love that. I would love that a lot actually. But yeah, just wanted to play that for you before we left because I thought that was amazing. And you just posted it today, so I was like, let me get it out here.
Yeah, that's the throwback for sure. I'm like literally that is when I'm living. I was living in Huntington Beach. I was living with two Hawaiian guys. They were so nice, but I was in my little rented room. I was dead broke at that time. That's when I was living
Mhm.
off of rice for every meal.
Wow.
Just trying to get my business started because I was a personal trainer and I transitioned to wellness coaching, and so it was a
Okay.
different avenue. And oh yeah, that was a struggle time for me for sure.
No, that was amazing time for you, really. Because I mean, those type of moments, the ones you look back and say, that's where I was, but I made
Yeah.
it.
Oh
I
yeah.
made it.
Yeah,
I
for
made it.
sure.
So that's amazing. So thank you again for coming on. I appreciate everything that you do. Like I said, I'm always paying attention to what you got going on, you and Wally, and everything, all your other new ventures. You're always welcome, as you know. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks in Kansas City. That's going to be
Let's go.
amazing. First
Yeah, I'm
time meeting you
excited.
there. Yeah, yeah. So I should be working with Michael Gonzalez. I might be doing some officiating.
Oh, that's exciting. Then you'll
Yeah,
be over if
so
you're learning to officiate, you'll be over on my court maybe.
yeah, yeah, I'll be learning to officiate, so that's gonna be something new for
Awesome.
me. Yeah, so that's gonna be awesome. My first ACL signature, actually my first ACL big event,
Wow.
so yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So looking forward to meeting all you guys and come and
That
watch some of the pros and everybody else get busy on those boards and be tapping me and you listen to some good music on the side.
that's right. Well, definitely come find me and say hi.
Oh yeah, most
I can't
definitely.
wait to meet you in person and give you a hug. And it's been so nice
Yeah.
to have the opportunity to come on both your shows. So thank you so
That's
much.
right. It's always love here. Thank you for coming on again. If you ever need anything, you know how to get in contact with me.
Thank you. I appreciate
You,
it.
you want to shout anybody out? Give out your socials or anything?
I mean, I'm Cornhole Mish on everything, so you can find me there. Definitely some fun shows coming. I've got a new one coming called Locked In, so that's going to be an
Oh,
opportunity for an
okay.
advanced player to get some mental support before the next Open in Cleveland. So that look out for that. That's coming in the next week or so, and or maybe even this week, and
That's
that's going to be a
awesome.
fun one as well.
That's awesome. Well, good luck on all your adventures. Like I said, congratulations on the new ones you got out already and your book and everything else you got going on. I love what you're doing and continue to strive for greatness. Thank you for coming on Smooth Talk Session not once again, but coming on this version of Cornhole with
Yeah.
Smooth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Always. Thank you again. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have Cornhole Meesh on Cornhole with Smooth Talk Sessions. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It was still my birthday weekend. I did a little hanging out and partying. Hope everybody had a good old time this weekend. What you guys got going on today? I know here in the St. Louis area, we got some nice weather. So hopefully people out and about getting some walking in and just enjoying this great, great, great weather. Well, again, this is another episode of Cornhole with Smooth Talk Sessions. This is Jay Smooth, and I'm out. Peace.
Step in, lean back, mic high, yeah, we mean that. Game talk, real facts. Turn it up, let the feet smack. Big plays, big brains. Level up, we gon' play safe lane. Smooth flow, sharp takes. Every line hit like a heartbreak. Welcome to the vibe. It's that smooth talk session. Kick back, tune in. This your new obsession. From the first word drop, you can feel progression. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Smooth talk session. Woo.